who know us. There are people who know the owner of the mango farm, and they will say that, my dear son, don't worry, we'll give you the best mangoes. I say, just stand here, do nothing. Huh? Just, raise your hand like this, trying to hold the mango. And then they form a chain, an assembly line chain. And so from where we are standing to the trunk of the tree, then they start going on the top of the tree to the branches, and then there is one person. And then that person looks, verifies, and the most sweetest mango, actually, that person plucks, gives it to the next person. The next person gives to the other person. It comes down, and finally it lands in our hand. And when it lands in our hand, it is very beautiful, very sweet, not damaged. We are not stealing it. And it is guaranteed that it is going to be sweet, because the person who's picking the mango, he knows which mango to give, right? He looks at us and he'll see, oh, he's a 20-year-old boy or a 10-year-old boy. For him, this mango is appropriate, right? And so that is an example which is given for Guru Parampara. Another example is that, few of us grew up in India, and we have known that, badam, we had trees of badam, from which the almonds come. So the badam fruit, it is, like oval in shape, and it is green in the beginning, and then as it ripes, it becomes red. And then there is guava, and there are many other fruits. And the parrots, they come, and whatever fruit they eat a little bit from their beak, it is said that the fruits which is touched by the parrots becomes very sweet by their touch. So the people or the devotees who form the Guru Parampara, they are like the parrots. They know which is the sweet fruit, and whatever fruit they touch and relish, it becomes more sweeter. So as it gets transferred to us, we get the most sweetest fruit. So similarly, a Guru Parampara is knowledge coming from Krishna himself, tree, mango tree, right? And the knowledge is coming from Krishna himself. And this is, and disciples, they have Krishna. And Krishna, when he gets a tree, when he gets a tree in the post, he just similarly, they take the knowledge from Krishna and they give it to the recipient. In the meanwhile, they do something more. And based on his situation and his condition, they make it very sweet and relishable. And in that way, knowledge to Parampara, Srila Prabhupada calls it like just whatever that person. Parampara is a chain and starts from Krishna and connects us to Krishna, connects us to Krishna. Right? And so we have heard the word sampradaya. Guru Parampara is the one that nourishes the sampradaya, but not just nourish the sampradaya, sampradaya, they form the sampradaya, they establish the sampradaya. Actually, one can say that a sampradaya cannot exist without Guru Parampara. A sampradaya cannot exist without Guru Parampara. A Guru Parampara has to be there in order for a sampradaya to exist, or a sampradaya to be called a bona fide sampradaya. Before understanding Guru Parampara, let's see what a sampradaya is, and then we'll go on to the Guru Parampara. Sampradaya comes from the word samprada. Samprada means to give. So what does a sampradaya give? What does it give? Spirituality gives many things. But just to make it very easy, we say it gives liberation, for example. It is beyond liberation, but just to use as an example. Okay. So sampradaya means samprada. Sampradana. Sampradana. It is the act of giving. It's just like a marriage. In a marriage, uh, the daughter is given from a family to a son in another family, and they give their daughter, right? So in similar here, it's like Vidyavadu Jivanam, Sixastakam Sloka first. Vidyavadu Jivanam, what comes in there. Vidyavadu Jivanam means it is getting married to the Vidyavadu. Vadhu means bride, right? And so getting married to the Shastra. And what does it give? Jivanam. It gives a life, an eternal life, right? A blissful eternal life. So I'm using this words blissful eternal life, liberty as an example. Krishna consciousness is way beyond liberation, blissful eternal life, etc., etc. Those are all small things that a devotee encounters when he starts establishing a relationship with Krishna and starts serving Krishna. Those are just small things. They are like small milestones. They come and they go away. The devotee is not even looking at that. But just to help understand the meaning of sampradaya, sampradaya means to give, right? And so sampradaya means it's an authorized process by which the transcendental knowledge is manifest or introduced into this world. So through a means of sampradaya, and Guru Parampara acts in that process, right? But sampradaya means it's an authorized pipeline for the transmission of transcendental knowledge in this material world. In Sanskrit, it is said that sampradaya Guru Parampara Dhatusa Updeshaya. So Guru Parampara forms the sampradaya and they transmit the Upadesh. Upa means to go up. Adesh means the instructions. Upadesh means giving the instructions which will help us rise up. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakya. We are in the darkness, in a well of darkness, and it fetches up and helps us elevate from the well of darkness. Right? So Upadesha, advice which will elevate us, which will liberate us. Right? So Sampradaya is formed by Guru Parampara. Parampara means para, upara. Para, upara. Parampara means connection of links, one above other, above other, above other, above other, till it goes all the way up to Krishna. That is called Parampara. If the Parampara does not start from Krishna, and if it breaks in the middle, so Krishna gave knowledge to somebody, then that person gave knowledge to somebody, then that person gives knowledge to somebody, and now there is nobody else to transmit that knowledge to. So the parampara is broken. okay? Or that person transmitted knowledge to me, and I misused the knowledge. I never used the knowledge, right? I neglected the knowledge. I never gave it to anybody else also. I let the knowledge die. It's gone after me. We see so many art forms in India, right? There are tribal art forms. There are tribal cultures, the cultures from our village. So many things that our grandfathers and our grandparents and our parents they grew up with, they are going away. You can't even find that anymore because it was not given from one generation to other generation to other generation to other generation to be preserved. So it slowly vanished, right? So when that happens, Krishna's succession is broken. I incarnate again to reestablish the down, and it gets broken, and Krishna comes back. He establishes the succession, and then again from him starts devotee, another devotee, another devotee, another devotee. So that succession is called Parampara. It starts with Krishna. It may also have Krishna inserted in the middle somewhere as a connecting point, and then it is made up of devotees of Krishna who are considered non-different than Krishna. In our Shastra, a spiritual master is considered non-different than Krishna. Saksat Daritvena Samasta Sastre Yuktas Tatha Bhavyadeva Sadvi Kintur Prabho Eva Priyevatasya Vande Guru Shishyanarvindam. Saksat Haritvena Samastra Sastre. In each and every scripture, Saksat Haritvena, you've been described as the Supreme Personality or Himself. Saksat Haritvena Samastra Sastre. Yuktas Tatha Bhavyateva Sadvi. You are the Krishna. Krishna manifests. It is said that Krishna, in order to, bring the jivas or the souls suffering in this material world, in order to bring them back, connect them back to their home position or with Him, from within, from inside, as Paramatma Swarup, He guides them from inside. And then He manifests outside. He expands Himself into outside as a spiritual master. And He holds that person's hand. And therefore it is said that the spiritual master never leaves disciple. If the disciple does not attain the love of Krishna in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, spiritual master again comes. In the next lifetime, the spiritual master again comes. And he holds the hand and he takes the disciple forward. Because the spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself. We may think it is a person 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall. He looks like this, he looks like that. They all look very different. His name is this, his name is that. But Krishna manifests himself into various forms. Krishna is existing in each and every particle in the entire creation. Then why cannot he exist in the form of the spiritual master? Krishna himself expands in the form of a spiritual master. And he comes to us and he guides us. So this is called Parampara. And Parampara, as we discussed, always starts with Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, when Lord Brahma is explaining the different incarnations, he's saying that who can describe the prowess of Vishnu? Somebody can count all the particles on this earth. Prithvi api kavir vimame rajamsi. All the Rajakarna. And Kavi means a very knowledgeable person or a scientist. Srila Prabhupada translates that as a scientist in the purport in Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe they are able to count all the particles, but still they cannot completely describe or understand the qualities of Krishna. Nantam, there is no end. Anantam, it is Anantam, there is no end. Uh, and Brahma says, Anantam Vidami Aham, I, myself, the creator of this world. For me, I feel that there is no end to the qualities of Krishna. I cannot know him as he is. And not only me, Ami Munayo Agrasi, and all the great devotees have come before me. You think I'm the creator of this world, but before me also many great devotees have come. And they also have not been able to understand or explain Krishna as he is. Because Krishna is omnipresent, is omnipotent. Maya balasya purusya. Krishna is, his potency is covering everything. And therefore, because his potency is covering everything, what to talk of the devotees or the great personalities who have come before me, even the ones who will come after me will not be able to explain Krishna as he is in a proper way. And what to talk about the devotees who have come before me and after me? Gayam Gunam Dasa Satanana. Dasa Satanana with 10,000, hundreds of thousands of heads. Even Gayam Gunam, when the glories of Krishna is being sung by tens of thousands of mouths of Adi Deva Seso, Adhumapi, even Bhagavan says with his hundreds of thousands of mouths when he sings the glories of Krishna, he's not able to describe Krishna as he is. So only Krishna can describe himself as he is. So therefore, all the sampradaya, they start from Krishna. Krishna gives the knowledge. Each and every sampradaya, the knowledge begins with Krishna. Krishna initiates the chain of knowledge in the Parampara. So, what do we learn from a sampradaya through a Parampara? This Guru Parampara that we have, what do we learn from them? Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, Veda Sastra Kahe, it is said in the scriptures, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana. Krishna Prapya Sambandha Bhakti Praptera Sadhana. So there is three things that is explained in the Shastra. Veda Shastra ka hai Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. There is three things explained in the Shastra. If you take all the instructions of the Shastra, okay, and so there is only one set of Shastras because there is only one Krishna. So if there's only one Krishna, all the knowledge is just written once, one set of Shastra. There are various sampradaya because according to different time and form, and we'll talk about that, this same knowledge is propagated in various ways. But when we look at the same knowledge which is in the Vedas, in the Veda, it is always broken into three parts: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means what is my relationship with Krishna? Krishna, what is my relationship with Krishna? And Abhideya means what is the process by which I attain that relationship with Krishna. And Prayojana is what is the goal of the process which I'm using to attain the relationship. So the goal is bhakti. Bhakti Prayojana Sadhana. The goal is bhakti. So bhakti is nothing but translated as devotional service by Srila Prabhupada, or it is translated as love for Krishna. Bhagavan Sambandha Bhakti Abhideya Hava. Bhagavan is our Sambandh, our relationship, why we should worship Krishna. One should understand that is taught by the Shastra through Sampradaya, through Guru Parampara. Then the Guru Parampara picks what is the Abhideya, what is the process. And then Prema is the Prayojana. Prema, again, Bhakti, love, devotional service, is the goal of any Sampradaya. So when we said Samprada means to give, Sampradana means to give, what does it give? It gives Prema. How does it give Prema? Through the means of Guru Parampara. The Guru Parampara teaches a disciple or whoever who wants to join the Sampradaya, the Guru Parampara teaches what is your sambandh or what is my sambandh with Krishna. What is my goal? To cultivate prema for Krishna. And what is the process of cultivating the prema for Krishna? Abhideya, the process. In our case, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Only by chanting of the holy name, we can easily establish our forgotten relationship with Krishna. And the love for Krishna is established irrevocably in our heart. Therefore, in bhakti, in the path of bhakti, it is said that the abhidhana and a prayojana, they both are same. The process is chanting of the holy name. After we attain prema of Krishna, what do? We again chant glories of Krishna, his names, because we so much love him. If somebody falls in love with somebody, what does that person do? He always meditates on the qualities of that person, always talks about the quality of the person, always glorifies that person. And how do you fall in love with that person? How do you fall in love with Krishna? How do you attain Krishna? By chanting his names, by meditating on his qualities, by listening to his pastimes, by glorifying his pastimes. So, in our case, the process by which we establish love for Krishna, then we get love for Krishna, and then we again do the same thing. But we do it now because now our heart is overflowing with love. And therefore, we are glorifying Krishna. We cannot stop glorifying Krishna. We do all our activities are then done. Like Mother Yashoda, 24 hours, she's constantly worrying how to please Krishna, how to keep Krishna happy, how to keep Krishna out of trouble, how to make sure Krishna does not get hurt, how to make sure Krishna does not go hungry, how to make sure Krishna does not get sick. And and so that is what is to be done after attaining prem for Krishna. So Krishna in Vigraha Swarupa, we serve Krishna in the Vigraha Swarupa, and we try to establish the relationship that Krishna is my child, he's my baby, therefore he is in a small form, crawling on 4 legs, 2 hands, 2 legs, and on top of it, one hand is holding some butter, and then he gets hungry at 8 o'clock in the morning, he gets hungry at noon, he gets hungry at 4 o'clock, he gets hungry at 7 o'clock. So we try to prepare a nice bhoga for Krishna. We offer it to him. We make nice dresses for him. We do arti for him. We do chamar. We do so many things for Krishna. By doing those things, our prem, our love awakens and gets established in our heart irrevocably. After it is done, we go to the spiritual world and we do the same thing for Krishna. So therefore, teaching us what is the sambandh with Krishna, then making us understand what is our prayojana, which is the goal, which is to establish prema with Krishna, and then how to attain that prema, which is abhideya. That is the job of Guru Parampara. So, Guru Parampara, when it is intact, when it is thriving, gives birth to a sampradaya, which is called a bona fide sampradaya. We see a lot of time, so many people, and they are teaching so many philosophies. But then we find out, we ask them, who's your guru? And he says, I don't have my guru. I just thought about this and it makes sense and I can convince everybody and I think this is the way to go. Probably that's not a proper sampradaya, because that person just doing whatever he wants to do. And there is a set of rules, right? There are some guidelines which defines what is a sampradaya or a bona fide sampradaya or a bona fide parampara. Let's use an example of a post office. If we want to send a letter, right, would we throw a letter in any box? Maybe this box looks very attractive. It looks very beautiful. By the way, I like orange color, and this box is orange in color. And oh my, it has a nice wide opening. And when I try to touch it, it starts playing music, and it's found everywhere, and it is so nice. Maybe I put my post in there. Will it go? No. The post will only go in the when it is put in the boxes which is authorized by the post office. By the way, the post office created a standardization, very much necessary for something to operate. Anybody who has a corporate job, right? Uh, we understand that there is a branding, a standardization, right? And so that things work in a proper way, and nobody can abuse the system. Nobody can abuse the consumers, right? So they say it will be a blue colored box. It will have the symbol of the post office, which is an eagle on it, and it will say USPS, and it will have the timing on it. And if you put the mail in there, there is 3 times somebody will come and pick up the mail. There is a nice, beautiful orange looking box right next to it. Would that postman come and pick up the post from that box? No, because that's not an authorized box. He will only pick up from the post office box authorized or ATM machine. If we belong to PNC Bank, right, we will only put money or into the ATM which has PNC written on it, which is authorized by PNC Bank, right? Or we will only get money out of the ATM which is authorized by PNC. If it is not, we will never get it. So therefore, there are certain symptoms or certain guidelines of what is an authorized post office box, what is an authorized ATM machine, what is an authorized this or that. So therefore, if a post office has such guidelines, why not Sampradaya, which is the most important thing in the human form of life? So Sampradaya has some symptoms which makes it authorized, right? And there are various kind of Sampradaya. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Krishna, before he leaves this material world, he's transferring his knowledge to Uddhav. And Uddhav Maharaj is his friend, and so he's giving all his knowledge to Uddhava, and that is described in 11th canto. So he says that in this material world, evam prakriti, people have many, many desires, and vaichitriyad, variety of desires. And he cannot say that everybody should have same desire, because everybody has variety of desires. Vidyate manyatro. Therefore, Krishna has propagated various philosophies in this material world to attract people with different desires, and to connect to him through that channel. So he's saying that evam prakriti vachitrat vidyate matayo nrinam parampara yena kesnachit. So therefore he has established many different paramparas, which has the same philosophy represented in many different ways to attract people of various natures. But then we still find that pasanda matyo pare. But there are some pasanda matyo, means there are some people who do not want to follow any parampara. They have their standalone philosophy and standalone mat. Krishna says they should be considered atheists, because when you put your mail in that mailbox, it is not going to go to Krishna. It's not going to go to the person you want to go to. So we want to make sure that when we put a letter, and let's say we're putting a letter to Krishna, it should be put in a box where it will be picked up 3 times a day or 4 times a day. And after it is being picked up, it's not being thrown out, but it is being transmitted through a proper channel, and it goes to whomever it is intended to go. So if we look at what is the symptoms of a bona fide sampradaya, right? First of all, it should represent Krishna or Vishnu, or expansions of Krishna or Vishnu. Then it should be described in the Shastras. Just like we said, the Shastra, there's only one God. So there's only one set of scriptures. Everything else which you see is derived from that one set of scriptures. Nothing is outside of that one set of scriptures, which is called Vedas. Right? Nothing is outside of that. It's all derived from there, and maybe explained in a different way to appeal person with a different desire in his or her heart, but has to be related to the Shastra and has to be predicted in the Shastra. There is a Shastra called Bhavishya Puran. Bhavishya Puran means what is going to happen in the future. You know that there is a big book which is written. I'm forgetting the name of the Rishi. It is Yagyavalkya or Markandeya. I'm forgetting, or Brigu, but in which all living entities, the previous birth, this birth, and the next birth is written. And you can, and it has been broken into various parts and given to different people. They for safekeeping. Even today, you can locate those people. They will ask you questions about yourself, and then based on your answers, they will tell whether the page representing you is with them or not. So once you find the person who has your page, you go to him. You don't have to say anything. You just give him the certain data he wants, and he'll give you everything you know. There is a book called The Diary of a Traveling Preacher. It's written by Indadumna Maharaj. Indadumna Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Indadumna Maharaj, he preaches in Poland and in European countries and so on. And it's a very nice preacher, very nice devotee. And whatever he does, he keeps a diary. So there's many volumes of Diary of a Traveling Preacher. In one of the volume, he mentions his experience about this. Indadumna Maharaj is from US. He used to be in, I think, Marines and in the army. And then he met Srila Prabhupada, and then he gave up the material world and he joined Srila Prabhupada. And he wanted to test this astrology. So he found the person who had his page in Rajasthan, and he went there. And he writes his whole experience. Don't take my word, read. And I think if you Google it, you'll be able to find it. But what I'm trying to say is everything is within the Vedas. The Veda should be talking about the sampradaya which is existing. That's one of the quality. Then it should only be aimed at pure devotional service or prema or establishing loving relationship with Krishna. Nothing else should be the goal of the sampradaya. And it should again be based on authoritative Shastra. Authoritative Shastras are the Shastras which is Ved or the branches of Ved, so which is Purana, Samhitas, and so on. Okay. So we have to make sure that if there is a sampradaya, we know that this is a sampradaya existing, we have to see, is that sampradaya, what is it representing? Krishna or Vishnu or expansion of Krishna? An expansion of Krishna is Bhagavan Shiv or Mother Durga and so on. So we have to see whether or somebody has just made their own name up and they're doing something on their own, right? And then it should be predicted in the Shastras. In the Shastras, it is said that sampradaya vihina ye mantraste nisfala matah. If the mantra is sampradaya vihina, it is not belonging to a sampradaya. Nisfala matah. Nisfal means it does not give you the desired result. Atah kalau bhavisyanti Satrava Sampradayina. So therefore, in Kali Yuga especially, Krishna knew that a lot of sampradayas will pop up like mushrooms. He established four sampradayas, which propounds the bhakti towards him. Brahma, Rudra, Sanaka, Vaishnava, Kshiti, Payana. So there are four sampradayas that were established by Krishna. Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Sanaka Sampradaya. And you can see many expansions out of those four, but those four are main, right? Chatarvaste Kalau Bhavya Hi Utkane Purushottama. And these are the four which can help us connect to the Purushottam, to Sri Krishna in this Kali Yuga. And then it is written in the Shastra that Ramanujam Sri Chakare. So Sri Ramanujacharya will be the Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. Madhavacharya, Chaturmukha. Chaturmukha, Brahma is Chaturmukha. So the Brahma Sampradaya, Madhavacharya will be the main Acharya. Sri Vishnu Swami Nam Rudro, the Shaiva Sampradaya, Sri Vishnu Swami, Rudra Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami will be the main Acharya. And Nimbakadityam, Chaturusanaha. And the four Sanat Kumaras, the Sampradaya started by them, Nimbarkacharya or Nimbakadityam will be the Acharya. So this is very clearly written in the Shastras. And it should be aimed at pure devotional service. Anya Vilasita Sunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anamritam, Anukulyena Krishna Silanam Bhakti Ruchite, which is explained in Bhakti Rasamrasitu. It should be Anya Abhilasita Sunyam, no other. The goal of the Sampradaya is to give pure devotional service, no other byproducts given by the Sampradaya. That, oh, you will get this, you will get this, you will become very wealthy, you will get 100 children. Nothing. Anya abhilasita sunyam. No other desire. Jnana karmadi anabritam. No covering of even being very knowledgeable jnani or being the best karma yogi or nothing like that. It is about the jnana and karma. Anukulyena Krishna Nasalam. Only what it should teach, how to make ourselves anukul, how to make ourselves disposed or be in loving service to Krishna. That is bhakti, that kind of bhakti is being taught. That sampradaya, Krishna established four main, and out of four, there are various branches right now available to the devotees or to the jivas in this material world. So it should be, and then it should be based, so it should be teaching pure devotional service, and then it should be based only on authoritative Shastra. Sruti, Smriti, Puranadi, it is written in scriptures. Sruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatri ki vidhim vina, ahaitu ki ekanta ki harer bhakti utpatayadi kalpate. So Sruti, Smriti, Puranadi. Pancharatra vidhim vina. So if something is not based on Sruti, Smriti, Purana, and Pancharatri ki vidhi, if some religious process is not based on this four, and I think, and it is just based on whatever I want to do, Aikentaki means I manufacture something myself. Harer bhakti utpataye hi kalpate. It will only create disturbance in this material world. Only create disturbance. So there are rules which are set forth by the Shastras. The Shastras describe that how bhakti should be done. Therefore, each and every sampradaya would follow the authoritative Shastra. I'll give you a very nice example. Around 1700, we all know that Sri Govindji from Vrindavan, rather Govindji, were moved from Vrindavan to Jaipur because of Aurangzeb, because Aurangzeb was destroying all the temples in Vrindavan. So the king of Jaipur used to serve Govindev very nicely, and king of Jaipur was also initiated in the Parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And in Rajasthan, there is also a good hold of Sri Sampradaya. There is a branch of Sri Sampradaya which is called Ramanandi Sampradaya. And they come from Sri Sampradaya, and there are many Ramanandi devotees in Rajasthan, and very nice devotees, wonderful devotees. So there were some Ramanandi devotees living in Jaipur, and they said that, the worship of Govindev along with Radharani is not bona fide. These Gaudiya Vaishnavas started worshipping Radharani with Krishna. It's not bona fide, and they are not able to find it in any Shastra. So they want to take over the Govindev temple, and they want to start worshipping the Govindev temple versus the Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are worshipping there. So they brought this proposition, okay, to the king of Jaipur, and the king of Jaipur is a Gaudiya Vaishnava. So he sent a message to Vrindavan. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was living in Vrindavan at that time, but he was very old. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when he saw what was going on, one of his disciple, his name is Baldev Vidyabhushan, and he told Baldev Vidyabhushan ji that, can you on my behalf please go to Jaipur and establish the authenticity of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Baldev Vidyabhushan ji went there, and he started talking to the devotees in Ramananda Sampradaya. So the devotees said that, okay, if you're saying that your Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is very authorized and is part of Madhva Sampradaya, you need to show us a bhasya or a commentary which is written on Vedanta Sutra. Because every bona fide Sampradaya has their own commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So where is your commentary? So Baldev Vidyabhushan ji said that, I'm sorry, we don't have a different commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Srimad Bhagavatam is a very nice commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Srimad Bhagavatam as the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So they said, but no, you don't have anything which is created by yours. If you don't have anything which is created by yours, then you cannot be considered a bona fide Sampradaya. And therefore, we'll have to take over the temple. So Baldev Vidyabhushan ji was given a time of about a month or so to come up with the bhasya, which is written in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Baldev Vidyabhushan ji went to Sri Sri Radha Govind ji in the temple, and he prayed at the lotus feet of Radha Govind ji that kindly, you came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and you established this Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya, and which is following in the footsteps of Madhavacharya, which is following the footsteps of Lord Brahma. It's one of the authorized Sampradaya. But because you accepted Srimad Bhagavatam as the Bhasya or the commentary on Vedanta Sutra, this nice devotees from Ramanandi Sampradaya are saying we are not bona fide, so please help. That night, Govind Dev ji appeared in the dream of Baldev Vidyabhushan ji, and he says, I understand that a Sampradaya should have an authorized commentary on Vedanta Sutra. That is how one can differentiate between a bona fide Sampradaya and a non-bona fide Sampradaya. So this Ramanandi devotees are right in their request of asking for a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So, in order to help and establish Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya as a bona fide Sampradaya, I will dictate you a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And since I am dictating you this commentary, it will be perfect. Nobody will be able to refute the commentary. So therefore, start writing and I'll dictate. And Govind Dev ji himself started dictating the commentary. And in very few days, he was given a month, and even before a month, because since Govind Dev ji was dictating, he didn't even have to think, he just had to write. The commentary was ready, and he presented in the court of the king, and he showed to the Ramanandi devotees. And since it was the Bhashya written by Lord Krishna himself, it was easily, it went right into the heart of the Ramananda devotees, and they accepted. Oh no, this is very beautiful. Actually, they there and then fell at the feet of Baldevji and gave him the title of Vidya Bhushan. They gave him the title of Vidya Bhushan. Vidya Bhushan means an ornament of knowledge. And they said that Baldev Vidya Bhushan, you are so blessed, because by reading Govinda Bhasya, we are so much impressed. We want to take initiation from you, Diksha from you. And Baldev Vidya Bhushan ji said that my dear devotees, since you are already initiated in Ramanandi Sampradaya, which is a bona fide Sampradaya, it will be an offense if I give you Diksha. But kindly bless me that I am always be able to serve you all. This is the same Baldev Vidya Bhushan who wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita later on. And Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, when you open the introductory page, you will see that Prabhupada is dedicating his Bhagavad Gita to Baldev Vidya Bhushan's commentary. So this is the same Baldev Vidya Bhushan who, after taking the darshan of Radha Govindji, was very impressed by the worship of Radha Govindji. So when he came back to Vrindavan, he used to live in Radha Shyamsundar temple. Radha Shyamsundar is only this big. That Shyamsundar was manifest from the heart of Srimati Radharani. That's a whole different pastime. But Radharani had manifested Radha Shyamsundar from her heart and given to Shyamananda Prabhu to worship. And so that Shyamsundarji used to be there in the temple. So the Shyamsundar was small, very small. So you cannot put a lot of ornaments and decoration on a small Thakurji. So when Baldev Vidyabhushan saw the big Govindji, he wanted a big Vigraha Swarup of Radha Shyamsundar. So he requested a big Swarup of Radha Shyamsundar to be established in the Vrindavan temple. You can still go today and take darshan of the big Radha Shyamsundar and also the small Radha Shyamsundar, which were manifest from Radharani's from heart. What I was trying to say is a sampradaya should be backed up by authoritative shastra, should be based on authoritative shastra. Even Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya, was backed up by the shastra, by the blessing of Govinda. Nobody can just say that, oh, I have just started from the Sampradaya and I just researched some things on Google and now, based on the Google, now I have formed a Sampradaya. That's not possible. And this Sampradaya, whose aim is to give pure devotional service to Krishna, which is predicted in the Shastras, which is backed up by the Shastras, which is based on the Shastras, and whose only goal is to attain Krishna. Krishna is the center. Such Sampradaya is being, nurtured by the Guru Parampara. So that is the role. A Guru Parampara establishes such a bona fide Sampradaya and it nurtures the Sampradaya. It nurtures everybody who come into the disciplic succession of the Sampradaya. The Guru Parampara breathes the life into the Sampradaya. Guru means very heavy. Guru means something very powerful. And Guru invites Krishna. Actually, Guru is so powerful that if a Guru is from a bona fide disciplic succession, he is able to put Krishna in a stone. We see so many forms, Swarup of Krishna, made out of stone and metal. And by the prayer of a bona fide spiritual master who belongs to a bona fide Guru Parampara. Actually, Guru Parampara means bona fide. We don't have to say bona fide Guru Parampara. It's like a round circle. The circle means it is round. You don't have to say round circle. But because we live in Kali Yuga, there are so much imitation going on. We have to use bona fide in front of Parampara. But so a real spiritual master who belongs, a real devotee who belongs to a real Parampara, when he prays to the lump of metal or to the lump of stone, Krishna incarnates into that stone and metal, and he starts manifesting himself to the stone and metal. In Sri Bhaktmal, there is this story that there is a daughter of a king and a daughter of a big landlord, Jamindar. They both are good friends, right? They play together and everything. They're very small in age. So one day, the Rajguru of the king, he comes into the palace, and these girls invite the Rajguru, and the Rajguru, he's living in the palace for a few days, and the girls see the Rajguru worship the Salagramji every day. So when they see the Rajguru worship Salagramji, they got attracted by Salagramji. So they say that, can we worship the Salagramji? Can you also give us Salagramji so we can worship? They're very small girls, like 6, 7 year old, right? So the Rajguru is thinking, they're small girls. They don't know even how to, they'll make many offenses. So what he does, he takes 2 stones and he gives it to the girls. And he says, 1 each. And he says, here, start worshipping them, right? And so the girl said, what is their name? And he says, their name is Silapille. Just start worshipping them. And the girls started worshipping. But because of the potency of Rajguru and because of the worship of the girls, Krishna manifested through the stone. And the girls fell in love with the stones and they started seeing the form of Krishna. Now the girls became big, right? Now, the one of the girl who was the daughter of a landlord, the landlord has 2 sons. So they both were fighting with each other. So the father had given separate villages to both the sons. So one day, a son from one side comes and attacks the other son and takes everything from that son's house. And he also, so that girl used to live with that other son, he takes away all the belongings of the girl also. It was in a trunk. So her Thakurji was also in the trunk. So when the girl finds out that her brother looted everything, she started crying because she wants to worship her Thakurji. She's missing her Thakurji. So her brother says, why don't you go and ask your other brother and he'll give him back to you. So she goes to her other brother. Her other brother is sitting outside with a lot of people. And you took away a trunk which belonged to me, and in the trunk there is a picture of there is a small stone whom I worship as my Thakurji, and can you give him back to me? And he says, all the Thakurjis are sitting inside in the temple. Go get whoever is your Thakurji. But then there are some people started making fun of the girl. They said, oh, if your Thakurji is so powerful, why don't you call him and he'll come to you if he's real Thakurji? So this girl was so much in love with her Silapille, she started calling out the name of Silapille, crying as if her life depended on it because she was missing. And Thakurji, Silapille, they came out of the trunk and they came running and they sat in the lap of that girl. A similar thing happened with the daughter also of the king. She got married and she went to her husband's place, and the husband got angry on her because she called back by just chanting the name, and Thakurji came and sat in her lap. The point I'm trying to make is that a guru can, who is connected with the real Parampara, can put life into stone and metal. By the prayers of Guru Srila Prabhupada, when he established the temples here, he would say that the disciples would say that, Prabhupada, we don't know how to serve Radha and Krishna. And Prabhupada says, don't worry. When he would establish Radha Krishna in a temple, he would pray to Radha Krishna that my disciples are very new to bhakti. They don't know how to serve you. Kindly accept their service. However broken, incomplete it is, please accept them and their service and give them your blessings. And you can see how potent Radha and Krishna is in each and every temple. So that is Srila Prabhupada's mercy that he established temples all over the world, and he established Nitai, Sitaram Lakshman, Hanumanji Maharaj, Narsingadev Bhagavan in so many temples, and they are being worshipped. So this is the power of somebody who's associated with the Guru Parampara. So in a Guru Parampara, there are some designations, like there is an Adi Guru. So for example, Lord Brahma is the Adi Guru in the Guru Parampara, because from him, Krishna gave knowledge to Lord Brahma, and from Lord Brahma, it came to the disciplic succession. Or the Sanat Kumar or Lord Shiva or Mother Lakshmi, they're all considered Adi Guru for the Sampradaya. And then there is founder Acharya, the Sansthapak Acharya. So the founder Acharya is the one who establishes or renovates the Sampradayas in a proper form, right? So, for example, Madhvacharya is there, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. Even Srila Prabhupada is called founder Acharya because he opened another branch of Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya called ISKCON. So you can see that Sampradaya is like a tree, a big trunk of the tree, and there are many, many branches. And every branches there could be a founder Acharya for the for those branches, right? And then there is a Diksha Guru. And there are certain roles of Diksha Guru. Then there is Siksha Guru, Guru, Sansthapak Acharya, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru. They're all part of this Guru Parampara. So they form the whole Guru Parampara. So next time when we talk, we will talk about what does Sansthapak Acharya do? What does Diksha Guru do? What does Siksha Guru do? I think we should also talk about Srila Prabhupada taught us to sing certain prayers in the morning. Sansar Davana Lida Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Sri Guru Astakam, and then the Guru Puja prayer. Sri Guru Charana Padmas Kevala Bhakti Sadama Bandho Moi Savdhana Mate. So we should understand those two prayers and the mood shared in those prayers. We should understand what is our disciplic succession. We are considered Guru, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we are Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we come from Brahma Sampradaya, Madhvacharya. Within Madhvacharya, his disciple, Madhavendra Puri, Iswar Puri's disciple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swami, and so on, and then Prabhupada, and so on, right? So we should understand what is our disciplic chain and which kind of sings about our Guru Parampara. And then we should also spend some time knowing some of our immediate members of Guru Parampara, like our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Sri Sachidanand Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ji, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So we see them on our altar all the time. And then Sri Sanatan Goswami Maharaj, Sri Rup Goswami Maharaj, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Maharaj, Sri Raghunath Bhatt also sit on our altar. We should know who they are. We should understand who they are. And I think the goal is this, eventually after this series is done, the devotee should, choose a personality from the Guru Parampara, and they should present in this Friday program. And that way, we will be forced to look at the life, the teachings of that spiritual master, and we'll be able to understand that nicely, and then help other devotees also understand through our presentation. So I will stop here today. We will continue next Friday, and it says 2-day seminar, but hopefully we'll finish in 2 days, and I want to, but if not, we might have to do it 3-day. But we'll see how.
We'll have to make it a 7-day.
Well, I'm very afraid that I may not be able to. I only know very little, so I don't have the energizer battery. I know very little. I keep repeating this few dear Prabhu, and thank you for giving me the service to speak about our Acharyas, Guru Parampara, the Sampradaya, and so on, because I don't know about other devotees, but it is very beneficial to me. When I think about these wonderful things, when I think about the heritage that we have become part of, that I think about the lineage that we have become part of, In day-to-day life, we kind of take things for granted, right? But through such events, we are reminded of our rich parampara whom we represent. Actually, every day we go and face our temple in our house, we should be reminded of our parampara, because that's the purpose. Srila Prabhupada has directed his followers to have Guru Parampara in our temple, so we can seek their blessings to move forward in the spiritual life, in our spiritual life. It's not just for showcase, right? And we don't just look at Krishna, pray to Krishna and walk away. We look at Krishna, and we also look at offer our obeisances to the Guru Parampara. And so I will stop here. I don't know, Prabhu, it's your call if you want to open up for any questions or answers. This is the picture of Radha Shyam Sundar, the big Radha Shyam Sundar that Baldev Vidyabhushanji had requested to be made after he saw Radha Govindji. I don't know, Prabhu, if you can find a picture of the small Radha Shyam Sundar. They're called Lala Lali. Lala means in Vrindavan, small boy. Lali means a small girl. And then there's a beautiful picture of Radha Govindji also from Jaipur. Radha Govindji, you know, they were made by our Goswamis, you know, and which are now existing here, but they were established by Vajranabhji, and one of the original Thakurji made by Vajranabhji on direction of his great grandmother. So a lot of rich heritage, a lot of rich history, you know, somehow in our day-to-day life, 9 to 5 jobs, chasing our American dream or Indian dream or whatever dream we have, we sometimes forget. Right? So it's always good to get reminded occasionally, time to time, of our rich heritage and feel proud of it. And hopefully we give it to our children and they give it to their children. And it doesn't stop with us or doesn't stop with them only. I'll stop now. And Prabhu, it's up to you if you would like to open it up for question answers, or we can continue next week. So here on the right hand side, yep, that's Lala Lali, small Radha and Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I mean, usually I don't have words to thank you, but I think it was a very good start, very good introduction or reintroduction. We have discussed these things very early when we started the program through you only. And to be honest, I couldn't think of anybody other than you to give us this introduction again, who knows us very well and who knows this Guru Parampara very well and who is very much dedicated to the Parampara. So thank you again for this seminar. And yes, if we are not able to complete in 2 parts, definitely, I mean, we definitely want to extend it. It's not a problem. So with that, any questions anyone might have come across, or any points, any comments, please feel free. This any doubts, you know, we hear so much about these things when we interact in the outside world. So it's very, very important. That's the whole reason we are having this seminar, so that we can re-establish, or we can actually make our faith even more stronger. Because until we have the faith in our spiritual masters and this parampara, it's very difficult to get fixed in the process. We will always be doubtful. So please feel free to bring up. We have the best resource in the form of Prabhuji, who can definitely help us clear our doubts.
Bro, I'd like to make a comment. You know, this faith that you're talking about, it is not something foreign to us, or it is not residing outside of us. The faith that we put in the pilot of the plane that we used to go to India, and the same faith we put in our Guru Parampara and Krishna, we'll attain Krishna today itself, right away. Or the faith that we put in the brake pedal when we push the brake, or the faith that we put in the mechanic who fixes the brake pedal, The same faith will be the same level, that faith is within us. That's why we've been able to put it onto the pilot, onto the driver, onto the mechanic, onto the brake pedal. The same faith, same amount of faith if you put on our Guru Parampara, on the holy name, on Krishna, on our spiritual master, right away things will change. I say this, but you know, it's a lesson to me also, because whatever I'm saying, I need to follow myself also. So it's a lesson to me also. But by their mercy, only this faith becomes strong.
Thank you, Prabhu. While others might be thinking about a question or comment, one thing that I remember right after when we joined or came in the association of devotees, especially you, and came in contact with ISKCON, when I went back to India, I met my Mausi. So she's from Pushtimar. So she's very, very, very staunch devotee, and they follow all the strict regulations of Pushtimar. So she was very happy because that we are doing bhakti in some form or trying to do something. And then she was discussing very emotionally. She said that using my nickname that I don't want to speak here, why you are also doing bhakti, so we are also doing bhakti. So why is there a difference? Why is there a difference in the process or ideologies? Then whatever limited understanding I had, I spoke that. But maybe you can, because that is a very common question, that why so many different paths. We always hear this question. So I think if you can speak a little bit more about it, it would be nice.
We talk, the right Krishna says to Uddhav that there are people with different desires, with variety of desires. So in order to appeal to the variety of desires, Krishna has branched his message into various forms. You could see that the devotees who follow, I think the rule number one is no one sampradaya is better than the other sampradaya. I mean, that is something we have to, that's 101, right? The first thing we have to understand, we cannot say, oh, I'm better than Sri Sampradaya. But this, no, I mean, there are stalwart devotees in each and every sampradaya. Krishna has manifested again and again in the form of the acharyas through sampradaya. You know Vallabhacharya in Pushtimar? Some very exalted devotees, they say that Vallabhacharya is Krishna himself. And Vittalnathji is also an ansh of Krishna. And Krishna again manifested as Vittalnathji's children. So Krishna, so how can we say Pushtimar is lesser than us? Or Brahma from our sampradaya? No. So number one is all sampradayas are the best sampradayas, based on everybody's liking and understanding. See, our spiritual life did not just start in this lifetime. It has been continuing since some time. Maybe we were like a 0-watt bulb or an LED bulb long time back. Now, the spiritual life is showing a little bit more light. Maybe in the next birth, it'll give a little bit more, emit a little bit more light. But based on our existing spiritual life, right, Krishna wants to nurture the same thing further out. And therefore, some devotees choose to, some devotees get attracted by Pushtimar, some devotees get attracted by Sri Sampradaya, some devotees get attracted by Rudra Sampradaya, and some devotees get attracted by Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. You will find that within Gaudiya Sampradaya also, some devotees get attracted with ISKCON, some devotees get attracted with Gaudiya Math, some devotees get attracted with the descendants of Nityananda Prabhu, some devotees will get attracted to descendants of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, right? So, but is one superior than other? No. Now, according to the time and place, we may think that somebody is on the top and somebody is at the bottom, but that is just looking at it from the material vision. We're just measuring everything using our material vision. But according to the different desire, what we are bringing with us in the form of bhakti from the previous lifetimes. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever bhakti one does not get destroyed. Everything else, you have to start from ground zero. Bhakti, if you've done this much, next birth, you start from that. Now you've done this much, next birth, you take with you and you start from here and you go like this. So, and in some birth, you start with this, you end with this. It does not go down. It stays constant, right? Or it goes up. So what kind of bhakti sanskar we brought from our previous life? It forms the desire. What it kind of decides what kind of family we will get birth in, what sampradaya that family is following also. All this is not a coincidence or random thing. Everything is by the perfect arrangement of Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. So therefore, there are various sampradayas to attract devotees with different mood who wants to serve Krishna in different ways. Krishna can be served in millions and millions of different ways. And a lot of sampradayas, like in Brahmadeva Gaudiya Sampradaya, out of the 5 ras, Madhurya ras is more prominent, while in Pushtimar, Vatsalya ras is more prominent, while in Sri Sampradaya, the Dasya ras is more prominent, right? So there are prominent rases, and then out of the 5 ras, there's unlimited permutation combination. So there's unlimited branches of Sampradaya in order to serve the unlimited permutation combinations. Is that okay? Right? I think rule number 1 we have to understand, very, very, very important. We should not think our sampradaya is the best sampradaya, and nobody's like our sampradaya, and all other sampradaya are useless, and they're not going back home, back to Godhead. Only we are going back home, back to Godhead. If we have that kind of mentality, guess who's not going back home, back to Godhead? Us.
Yeah, thank you so much. That makes us humble, also very humble in our devotion. Thank you. So, anyone else has any questions, any comments? So we have quite a few devotees. We have Ajay Prabhu, Neena Mataji, Anil Uncle, Smita Aunty, Anuradha Mataji, Bhavya Anant Prabhu, Veena Mataji, Harshad Prabhu, Harshad Das, and Harshal Prabhu also. Madhu Didi, California. Madhu Didi, Amar Prabhu probably साथ में उनके. Mamina Mataji from York. Rashna Mataji, Ram Babu Prabhu, Surat, Swarnagarang Prabhu, Tung Vidya. Any questions, any comments, anything you want to add or ask?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. This is Swarnagarang Prabhu.
We will.
Prabhu, one question about, as we are talking about the Guru Parampara, and then probably next lecture we're going to talk about the Guru Maharaj, right? Why one need a Guru. So, Prabhu, all these acharyas we talk about, like the Baldev Vidyabhushanji or Vishwanath Chakravarti, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj, right? So they are eternally present now. Also, even they left the body, they eternally present. So when we talk about them, why one need a guru if this acharya is still present? Can somebody just accept them as a guru, and then why somebody need a physical body of a guru?
Right? Because nowadays also there are a lot of people who say, I don't want any other guru. Srila Prabhupada is my guru, and he's my acharya. That is nice. Okay. But one has to understand that saksat dharitvena samastra saksat dharitvena samastra. The spiritual master is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, Sri Baldev Vidyabhushanji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, they're also representatives of Krishna and expansion of Krishna. So now, why can't they come back in the form of some other spiritual master, right? And when that spiritual master is representing Srila Prabhupada, and when he's representing Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the whole Guru Parampara, if they can, after being invisible to the eyes of the to our material eyes, if they are still present, and if they can teach while being invisible, they can also become visible in another form and they can teach. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is our nature is such, Prabhu, that we need someone who sits next to us and in the language of Atma Tattva Prabhu, give us a danda, right? And sometimes, have you seen when they herd the cows or buffalo? Huh? The cows and buffalo, they go one path and they come back one path. They know which path to go to grass and what is the house. But then there is a guy with a stick. And if some cow is going a little bit this way, he'll have to use the stick. And he doesn't hit, he just shows the stick and the cow comes back into the line. Therefore, in order to show the stick, Krishna manifest all the spiritual masters. They are no other than Krishna. Actually, first thing is we have to have full faith that my spiritual master is the expansion of Krishna. That's a very essential thing in order to move forward in spiritual life. That my spiritual master is an expansion of Krishna. Okay, so now the same Krishna comes in the form of Diksha Guru, comes in the form of various Siksha Guru, and he surrounds us from many, many sides so that we can walk in the proper path, because we are so stubborn, we are so fickle, that if we don't have that constant personal guidance, it will not work. We are not like Ekalavya. If we are all like Ekalavya, then he doesn't need Guru Dron to be present personally. But we are all very fallen souls. We are very fickle. We are very easily attracted by other things also. We constantly fall down. We constantly commit mistakes. We constantly commit aparad. We need somebody who lovingly guides us, lovingly, like a mother, teaches us, lovingly holds our hand and walks with us. So therefore, even though all the acharyas are eternally present and they are manifested in different forms, what do we think? I'm going to say something which you may think this is crazy, but we think Bhaktivinoda Thakur is different than Gorkeshwar Das Babaji Maharaj, is different than Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is different than Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Same personality manifested in various forms, right? So just we need somebody, because of our fickleness, our weakness, our shortcomings, to be with us all the time. Therefore, Krishna again and again appears. Actually, you don't even need a spiritual master outside. Krishna can guide from inside itself, but we are so fickle. Krishna has to come out externally also as a spiritual master. So therefore, I'm going to use this word, which is a wrong English. A live spiritual master we need. Somebody who can be with us and guide us. Otherwise, Prabhupada is manifested through his books. How many of us are able to do that? Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It was such a nice question, bro. So, I mean, the way I was able to understand it is like Prabhuji said, why not the other acharyas who were previous acharyas? It's like having a textbook written by somebody who is not there anymore. And then we have to go to school to learn from the live teachers. Otherwise, we will not understand the proper meanings. So that is another thing, like you said about the Guru Tattva. So Guru Tattva is one. Just like sometimes we end up, out of ignorance, we end up differentiating between sampradayas. We end up even differentiating between different gurus. We forget that Guru is a Tattva. It's a Balram Tattva, it's Nityanand Tattva. So I will let you cover next week that part. So yeah, thank you, Prabhu, Spandaran Prabhu, for asking that one question. Anything else? We can still have a couple of minutes. We can take one or two questions. It's a very important topic. Okay, if not, then we can go to Narasimha prayer. Before Narasimha prayer, a couple of announcements. So there is a Discover Yourself course that is being organized on 3 weekends, 3 Saturdays. So if any one of you is interested, isconhbg@gmail.com. That information has been shared to all of you through WhatsApp and email. Another thing is we are starting Saturday night, as Prabhupada night every Saturday, starting this Saturday, so that is tomorrow. So it's going to be monthly event. And once, I think it's going to be the last Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. So that flyer is also shared with all of you. And then, of course, another chance to associate with devotees. Disciple of Srila Prabhupada, wonderful devotee from ISKCON Atlanta. And he will be giving a talk tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then for Matajis, if you're interested to have a little informal time with devotees, please feel free to join this chill and chat Sangha for women on February 20th at 2:30 p.m. Of course, opportunity to have sadhu Sangha. And then last Friday, we proposed and we kind of agreed upon that we'll have, if hopefully everything will be fine soon with this COVID situation. So we will have our yearly Radhashtami Janmashtami festival on October 9th, Saturday this year. With that, we can move to Narasimha prayer. Mamina Mataji, would you like to sing with Bhavya? I know you will say, where is Bhavya?
Yes, Prabhuji, I need Bhavya.
Yes, Bhavya, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Please go ahead whenever you're ready.
Bhavya, you can start. I will join.
Namaste Narashimaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlade Ladine. Prahlade
Ladine.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Ilatankhanakhalaye.
Ilatanka nakhalaye.
Ito nashimo parito nashimo.
Ito narsimo parato narsimo.
Yato yato yaumitato nashimo. Yato
Yato yami tato narsimo.
Bahir nashimo vidyahir nashimo.
Bahir narsimo hridaye narsimo.
Narashima madhim sharanam prapade.
Narasimhamadem sharanam prapade.
Tava kara kamala vare nakhan adbhuta singam dalita hiranyakashipu tainu bringam keshavadrita narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. तव कर कमल
अद्भुत
केशव हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हाय रे जय जगदीश हाय रे जय जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि निताय गौरा हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्री प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद